I don't think people understand just how high the stakes are in the South China Sea. Welcome to Smart Updates. Now reporter Andad Traz Albernar, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. The South China Sea is a place where breathtaking beauty meets ever-present danger. Its turquoise waters and scattered islands are not just a paradise for travelers, but a focal point for some of the world's most intense geopolitical rivalries. Here, the calm surface hides deep currents of tension, as nations vie for control and influence. This region is absolutely vital for global trade, serving as a lifeline for economies far beyond its shores. Beneath the waves lie vast reserves of oil, gas, and fish, resources that fuel industries and feed millions. Every day, countless cargo ships, oil tankers, and fishing vessels crisscross these waters, making the South China Sea one of the busiest and most valuable maritime highways on Earth. Trillions of dollars worth of goods pass through these sea lanes each year, connecting factories in Asia to markets around the globe. For many nations, the uninterrupted flow of trade through the South China Sea is not just important, it's essential for their survival and prosperity. Yet, beneath this economic importance lies a web of overlapping claims. China asserts ownership over almost the entire sea, drawing a sweeping 10-dash line that cuts deep into the exclusive economic zones of the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei. These claims are hotly contested, creating a patchwork of disputed waters and simmering tensions. To enforce its sweeping claims, China has transformed reefs and shoals into artificial islands, complete with airstrips, radar stations, and military outposts. A formidable Chinese fleet now patrols these waters, projecting power and turning the region into a flashpoint where military and civilian vessels often find themselves in close, tense encounters. The Philippines, a nation of more than 7,000 islands, is deeply connected to the sea. Its people rely on these waters for food, livelihood, and national identity. But now, the Philippines finds itself at the very heart of this escalating storm, its sovereignty and way of life under constant threat. Filipino vessels, often outnumbered and outgunned, are routinely challenged by China's much larger and more powerful fleet. Despite the odds, Manila's sailors and Coast Guard crews defend their maritime territory with remarkable creativity, resilience, and courage, determined not to yield an inch of their waters. On October 22, 2025, what began as a routine Philippine resupply mission to a remote outpost quickly escalated into a dramatic international incident. The world watched as a small nation stood its ground, refusing to bow to pressure from a much larger neighbor. The standoff became a symbol of resistance and the struggle for sovereignty in contested waters. This single act of defiance did more than just capture headlines. It set the stage for a new and more dangerous chapter in the ongoing confrontation in the South China Sea, where the stakes are higher than ever and the world is watching closely. At the heart of the conflict is the BRP Sierra Madre, a rusty, grounded ship serving as a Philippine outpost on Second Thomas Shoal. This ship, once a proud naval vessel, now stands as a testament to the ongoing territorial disputes in the South China Sea. Its rusting hull and decaying structure are a stark reminder of the passage of time and the enduring nature of this geopolitical struggle. Intentionally run aground in 1999, it stands as a crumbling but powerful symbol of Philippine sovereignty. The decision to ground the ship was a strategic move, aimed at establishing a permanent presence in the contested waters. Over the years, the ship has weathered countless storms, both literal and political. Yet, it remains steadfast. A small detachment of Marines endures harsh conditions aboard, maintaining a physical presence to assert the country's claim. These Marines live in challenging conditions, with limited supplies and constant vigilance. Their presence is a daily assertion of the Philippines' determination to hold on to its territory. The ship's deteriorating state demands constant resupply, turning each mission into a flashpoint with China. Every delivery of food, water, and other essentials is fraught with tension, as Chinese vessels often shadow these missions, creating a volatile environment. For Manila, the Sierra Madre is more than a ship. It's a living flag and a non-negotiable statement of national heritage. The flag that waves atop the ship is a powerful symbol of the Philippines' resolve and pride, a daily reminder of the nation's sovereignty. China, however, sees it as an illegal occupation and seeks to block any effort to reinforce it. The presence of Chinese Coast Guard ships in the area is a constant reminder of the tension and the high stakes involved in this territorial dispute. Every resupply run is now a high-stakes test of nerve and resolve. The Marines and supply crews must navigate not only the treacherous waters, but also the geopolitical tensions that threaten to boil over at any moment. The simple act of delivering food and water has become a symbol of sovereignty. Each successful resupply mission is a small victory, a reaffirmation of the Philippines' claim to the Second Thomas Shoal. Each mission is a confrontation, watched by the world. The international media closely monitors these events, highlighting the global significance of this local struggle. The eyes of the world are on the BRP Sierra Madre, making each resupply mission a statement heard around the globe. Second Thomas Shoal, or Ayungin Shoal, is a submerged reef just 105 nautical miles from Palawan, well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines, invalidating China's sweeping claims. China rejected the ruling, insisting the shoal, Renai Jiao, is its territory. This legal and territorial standoff is the root of repeated confrontations. For Manila, holding the shoal is crucial for defending maritime rights and resources. Losing it would set a dangerous precedent, inviting further encroachment. For Beijing, control of the shoal is a strategic step toward dominance in the South China Sea. The shoal's location makes it a gateway to the region and a test of China's resolve. The stakes could not be higher for both nations. On October 22, 2025, two small Philippine supply boats, escorted by Coast Guard vessels, set out to resupply the Sierra Madre. The mission was fraught with risk. Chinese ships had blocked previous attempts. As the convoy neared Second Thomas Shoal, Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels appeared, forming a floating blockade. The Chinese crews issued warnings, demanding the Filipinos leave what they claimed as Chinese waters. The Philippine Coast Guard calmly asserted their right to operate within their own exclusive economic zone. Chinese ships executed dangerous maneuvers, cutting across bows and attempting to force the supply boats off course. The Filipino captains navigated through this gauntlet, determined to reach their Marines. Every move was tense, every decision critical. The world watched as the small convoy pressed forward, refusing to be intimidated. The confrontation in the South China Sea reached a boiling point as a China Coast Guard vessel deliberately rammed into a Philippine supply boat, causing significant damage to the smaller craft and putting the lives of its crew at risk. This was not a mere accident, but a calculated move, meant to intimidate and send a clear message. Just minutes after the first collision, a Chinese maritime militia vessel aggressively bumped a Philippine Coast Guard ship that was attempting to shield the vulnerable supply boats. The standoff at sea grew even more tense, with ships maneuvering dangerously close to one another, heightening the risk of further escalation. These deliberate acts of aggression were clear violations of international maritime law, disregarding established rules meant to prevent such confrontations. The world watched as China's actions challenged not only the Philippines, but the very principles of freedom of navigation and peaceful coexistence at sea. Despite the danger and chaos, the Filipino crew remained steadfast. They documented every moment of the confrontation, capturing footage that would soon circulate globally, exposing the reality of the situation to the international community. Against all odds, the Unaiza Mai 1 supply boat managed to spot a narrow gap in the blockade. With remarkable skill and unwavering bravery, the crew navigated through the intimidating wall of Chinese vessels, determined to complete their mission. However, not every vessel was as fortunate. The other supply boat, facing overwhelming pressure and the threat of further aggression, was forced to turn back, unable to break through the blockade. Still, the successful breakthrough and delivery of vital supplies was a significant victory for the Filipino crew, a moment of relief and triumph after a harrowing ordeal at sea. On board the Sierra Madre, Marines erupted in cheers as the much-needed supplies finally arrived. Their joy and gratitude were palpable, a testament to the importance of the mission. The partial success of the mission ensured that the Filipino presence on the contested shoal would continue, at least for now. Every box unloaded was a symbol of resilience and determination. Exhausted but proud, the Marines and crew embraced, knowing they had faced overwhelming odds, and prevailed. Their courage and resolve had carried them through one of the most dangerous maritime confrontations in recent memory. The world took notice. International headlines highlighted the risks these brave crews faced to uphold their country's sovereignty and the ongoing struggle for control in the South China Sea became impossible to ignore. The Philippine government swiftly condemned China's actions as dangerous and illegal. Officials emphasized the resupply mission was a legitimate act within their exclusive economic zone, not a provocation. President Marcos Jr. has taken a firm stance, vowing not to yield any territory and publicizing China's harassment to rally international support. The government's strategy of transparency aims to expose China's tactics and build diplomatic pressure. For Filipinos, these missions are a matter of national pride and duty. The Marines on the Sierra Madre are hailed as heroes, and abandoning the outpost is not an option. Manila frames its actions as defending a rules-based order, insisting on rights under UNCLOS and the 2016 ruling. This principled stand has earned the Philippines support from many nations concerned about China's assertiveness. China offered a starkly different account, blaming the Philippines for trespassing and acting illegally. Beijing insists the Second Thomas Shoal is Chinese territory, and that its coast guard was safeguarding sovereignty. China views the Sierra Madre as an illegal structure, and resupply missions as attempts to reinforce occupation. Chinese officials claim their actions were lawful and restrained, only responding after repeated warnings were ignored. They accuse Philippine vessels of causing the collisions, contradicting video evidence released by Manila. This narrative is promoted by Chinese state media and rooted in Beijing's historical claims. China rejects the 2016 arbitral ruling, placing its historical narrative above international law. In this context, China sees itself as the victim of provocation and external interference. This incident is part of a pattern of escalating Chinese aggression in the South China Sea. Past confrontations include water cannon attacks and collisions, drawing widespread condemnation. The United States responded to the latest incident by reaffirming its defense treaty with the Philippines and condemning China's actions. The U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty now explicitly covers attacks on Philippine vessels in the South China Sea. President Marcos Jr. has strengthened ties with the U.S., granting expanded base access and resuming joint patrols. Other countries, including Japan, Australia, and European nations, have voiced support for the Philippines and the rule of law. This international backing provides Manila with crucial diplomatic leverage. The world sees China's behavior as a threat to regional stability and the global rules-based order. The Philippines' defiance is now a rallying point for those who value freedom of navigation. The successful resupply of the Sierra Madre was more than logistics. It was a bold act of defiance. The Philippines showed it would not be intimidated, sending a clear message to Beijing and the world. This event has emboldened Manila to continue its missions and seek closer security ties with allies. However, the risk of escalation remains high, with China likely to respond more forcefully in the future. Each mission is now a tense standoff, where a single miscalculation could spark a wider conflict. The Sierra Madre stands as a symbol of sovereignty and resilience. The future of the region hinges on whether disputes are settled by law or by force. The world is watching, and the stakes could not be higher. The next chapter in the South China Sea saga is yet to be written.